All right, everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the weekly BrYangle Report. As the crowd goes wild, the crowd goes mild. All right, this is going to be a fun show. Today we have a special guest. As I mentioned last week, this is part 2 of the Sound and Vision series, I guess you can say. And last week we talked about concepts and aligning music with photography and so on. Today we're getting into the literal side of things. We're talking with Mr. Michael Drukarsh, an avid fan of the show, a regular watcher, and a longtime customer / friend of mine. So I'm very excited to have him here. Anytime I can have a guest on the show, it's fun. Anytime I can have a guest that I know their entire photography history is unique. So I'm very excited for that. I am Brian Weiss. We are broadcasting from the Nook here in the Newmarket Henry's location. If you don't know, it's 130 Davis Drive. Come check us out because we have the best staff in the entire world. I'm just saying. I mean, all the Henry staff is great. I've met many of them. I just love our guys here. Good crew, very good crew. Big thanks to everyone who's tuning in this week and every week because I'm not going to say too much, but people are noticing. So thank you very much for being a part of our journey. And yeah, it's going to be a fun show. Before I get into too much of what we're going to talk about, I want to do our quick Did You Know? And the Did You Know this week, oh no, first let me just see the chat. Before I do anything, got to check out the chat and see who's watching, see who's saying hello. And Ashby, first time on this one, glad you found me. I'm glad you found us too, very cool. Teresa is watching, hello to you. Plow Beast, that's a new one, thank you for watching. Well, good that you're watching, that's awesome. Debbie Boyer, hello to you. Okay, cool. So for all of you who are watching, if you are a first-time watcher, thank you so much. Really appreciate you joining us today. And hope you enjoy the show. And if you've watched many times, then I don't even have to say that. That means you've enjoyed the show and you're still watching. All right. Did you know? Now, this is a concert kind of centric Did You Know for everybody. Those purple, red, and blue lights, all the colors that we see at concerts and events and so on and so forth, they look great to the eye, but your camera doesn't read it the same way your eye does. The camera's reading different things, exposure mainly. So when you're doing a concert, after you've taken a few shots with all the lights, check your histogram. But not just your exposure histogram, also your red, green, blue histogram. If you check those colors and they're really peaking, then you have some sort of real understanding of how to make a controlled change of those settings. Here's a quick tip for you. When you're shooting a concert, check your LCD screen to black and white, to monochrome. By doing that, you're seeing texture and you're seeing exposure rather than color. So your reds will be natural looking, your blues will be natural looking after the fact, without everything looking super overexposed. Neat little quick pro tip not many people talk about for you there. All right, let's get into what's new and used this week. Before I go any further, Jim Canning, hello to you. Thanks for watching. And Doug's watching too, awesome. Lots of people watching this week, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, let's get to what's new. I'm gonna do a quick flippy-do, yoink, there we go. Whoops, that's a preview of one of Michael's photos right there that just came up. Don't tell everybody yet. All right. This is a new fun lens from Nikon. Nikon's actually released 2 new lenses. They're taking pre-orders right now. These aren't fully on the market, so don't come into the store and want to buy one today, but come in and do a pre-order or do it through the website, preferably here with me in the store. But this lens right here, a DX 35mm prime. So DX, for those of you who don't know, it's not a full frame compatible lens. This is made for like a Z50 Mark II or a Z50 APS-C size interchangeable lens cameras. We're going to talk about a Z50 in a little while. But this is a 1.7 aperture, cost-effective, really lightweight compact lens. Super stoked about this option. There hasn't been a under $1,000 35 prime from Nikon yet. So this is a really good answer to those people who want to do portrait or what's lifestyle kind of photography, couples photography, small groups, things like that. It's not super narrow, which gives you a little wider field of view. Also good for vlogging and things like that. So excellent lens choice that's just come on the market. Also, they announced their 16-50. Now the camera comes with a 16-50, but this is a 2.8 VR lens. Again, for video, indoors, concerts specifically, this would be a great lens for people doing concerts with a Z50 or a Z50 Mark II or a Z30. Lets in tons of light, nice and wide, and it's a really stellar choice because it's got vibration reduction. So for video, it'll float really nicely for you. Now, we have this funky little guy right here, and I'll just unfold it so y'all can see what I'm talking about. I always go to the south, y'all. I always end up in the south. That's okay.
It's a good place.
It's a good place to be. So this is the new DJI. Oh, it's turning on. Oh, it's going to fly. Is it going to fly? Camera's looking at you. This is a pretty awesome little drone that I got ahead of myself. Here we go. The DJI Mini 5 Pro, a drone that redefines the standard apparently. Very compact, very lightweight, and I believe Juan just bought this. And if you guys remember Juan from our previous episodes, check out his Instagram because he shared some videos showing some of the features of it, how it does like a full rotation and all kinds of really unique functions. So really nice quality lens, excellent little drone. I highly recommend you guys check these out. And the drones are selling for about $1060 on their own, so they're not an overpriced drone compared to other options out there. And it comes in all kinds of different bundles, so you can get it with the remote, you can get it in extra battery packages, and it's really small, super compact for such a high quality drone. And that's the difference, that this is one of the more high quality videos and so on.
Aircraft will power off in 5 seconds.
Okay.
Button on aircraft to cancel.
No, you can power off, thank you. There you go. Oh, and it has LiDAR too. So if you're flying in at night, it has LiDAR and it's going to be spreading out a whole anti-bumping system, which is pretty amazing. But don't shine your phone at it and shoot video, because just like the Audi I talked about last week, that LiDAR may burn onto your sensor. Something to think about. This one is just over $250. So it is good to be aware of your legal situations depending on where you go to. I don't know if you need a license for this one. I'm looking at Steve. I don't think so, but gray area. I'm not positive on it. That's something I will check and verify. Thank you, Bri. And here you can see it on our website. It's an option for you there too. All right, now I'm going to cut away from this sharing because I've got a lot of stuff I want to show you that I have right here behind me. It just takes me a quick second to do this, guys. Hang on 1 minute. Get rid of that and make my screen bigger. There we go. So there's a lot of cameras or a lot of people that are coming in asking for a very specific camera lately, and that's the Canon G7X. The minute I say that, Steve's making faces. Like, people are calling all the time, and we haven't had these things since COVID hit. Now, popular because it's compact, it does great video, the screen tilts around, and everybody and their uncle are talking about it online. What they're not talking about is the replacement of that camera, because that camera's pretty much gone. What is available is the actual V1, and this is the upgrade, the 6-year newer version of the G7X line. People aren't talking about it much. I don't know why. It's got the same flippy screen. It's got a great big sensor on this guy. It's a 1.4-inch sensor with 22 megapixels. So a really nice ratio of pixels. Right, Brian's giving thumbs up. When you have too many pixels on a sensor, the pixels have to be too small and you compromise on low light image quality in some other ways. Not with this guy. Nice high resolution, 22, it's not 47, but perfect ratio of size of sensor to number of pixels. Really nice to hold. It's not too small, it's not too big. It's got a hot shoe on top, so you can add a little flash if you want to. But without flash, it's still going to perform better in low light than most cameras. So that whole flash issue that I've heard some people talk about, to me, literally means nothing on this camera. You can add a little flash to it or a big flash, but it has such good low light as it is. You probably don't need it that much. So something to think about. The V1 is a solid camera. Oh, that's great for video, but I'm glad you talked about that because I've got something else to talk about, Bri. This is the EOS R50V. This is the video one. This little, I mean, they both do great video, and this is made for vlogging, and this is made to replace the G7X, so great for video. But this is their new compact video specialized camera. It even includes a power zoom lens that you can zoom in and out with a motor, so it looks smooth and it works really nicely for video. Again, feels like a video tool, so cages and accessories where you're going to mount to it. This is designed to hold those. Even so much as it has a tripod thread on the side. So now when you're shooting video for Instagram or things like that, you can literally mount it on a tripod in portrait position and shoot 16:9 that way. So this is really made for that next generation of video, vlogging, anybody that wants to get into it. And shocking how few people are talking about these cameras, because this is APS-C, proper size sensor. So something to think about. Solid little tool for video. This camera is selling for $1,280. Again, not a $1,500+ camera. It is a 24.2 megapixel APS-C. Great for stills, optimized for video. Something to think about. All right, and that's pretty much it, I think, for the what's new.
Can I ask another?
Oh wait, no, it's not. That's not it. Yes, Brian.
On that last camera, what's the ISO range?
Oh, you can go up to 32,000 plus ISO. Yeah, it's got all the same ISO ratings as like the new Rebel series. Well, not Rebel series, but like the R50 or the R10, that kind of series of high ISO capability. Yeah, it's pretty good. The last thing I want to say, and I do want to remind everybody, the Peter McKinnon series bags are in the store. Not just in the store, but full display as soon as you walk in the store. Those bags I'm stoked about. It's like a full circle moment for me. I might have mentioned this in the past. Pete worked with me here in the store. He's a friend of mine. We've done a lot of urban exploration shooting. I've been with him, seeing how he uses bags, knowing the different bags he's used over the years, Think Tank and Low Pro and all these different bags. His own lineup is so well thought out. I was showing Aurora some of the things earlier today, and there were two things specifically she didn't even know about, and that's the quick hook on the bag, how you can leave it open, unzipped, and then just do a quick hook. And then also the one bag turns into a full backpack, even though it's a sling style bag. So seriously different bags, good looking bags. They're green, doesn't have like all kinds of yellow and weird different off-putting colors on it. It's really nice and clean. Check out the Peter McKinnon bags in our store and a lot of the different stores at Henry's. All right, let's go to the chat. Steve, is there anybody talking to me?
Yeah, lots of people saying hi.
Lots of people saying hi. Awesome. Steve, Shelly. Oh, Shelly's watching too. And Pauline, hello. And Pauline is saying hi to Shelly because that's mother and daughter, so they should say hi to each other. Fantastic. All right. What's used? I'm going to quickly go into what's used because I want to bring Mike in to talk, and there's so much we can talk about. But there's some really cool used things we have. First of all, no, I'm going to talk about that. We were just talking about video. First of all, there is the Sony f4 Cinema. That is a 28 to 135 OSS G lens. This lens found its way into our store. It is a true cinema lens. $2,100, I believe it's selling for used, usually way more than that. And again, it's a power zoom. So on a cinema camera, it will power motor forward and backward to help your zoom be nice and smooth, or you can manually rack it and change your T stops and so on. Beautiful lens. Rare that we would have this in the store, so I had to mention that. It is a Sony E-type mount, yes. Yeah, so for any of the E cameras, the full frame, 7s, and so on. You'll take two. Now this one here is a fun little camera. This is the limited edition Stormtrooper Edition Pentax K30. It's not actually what it's called. I'm just calling it that because it's white and it looks like a Stormtrooper and it's super cool. This is released in 2012, so it's not a brand new style camera, but it is high resolution, 16 megapixels on an APS-C CMOS sensor, so great camera, good focusing. It's not the newest, so it doesn't have the tilty-do screen, but for $300 with the 18 to 55 lens, it's a great digital SLR for a beginning photographer or somebody who just wants a really cool Stormtrooper on their shelf. And we also have the 28 to 75 f2.8 Tamron Pentax lens that could be an upgrade to that if you get that. And this guy here is only $250 for an f2.8 lens. So awesome options used. Thank you all for listening. What was that?
It's a good thing I left my credit card.
Good thing you left your credit card at home, I know, right? Okay, and that's about it for what's new and used and the did you know and all the stuff I needed to do to talk about. Because now we get to bring in Mr. Michael Drukarsh.
All right.
Are you on? Are you turned on?
Check 1, 2. Can you hear me?
There you go.
Send us a little message. Let me know that you can hear me out there.
You're good.
Are we good? How are you?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you as well.
So,
thank you so much. This is awesome.
You're welcome. You're welcome. First of all, for those of you who don't know who this guy is, longtime customer of ours here, longtime viewer of the show. He is a teacher.
Yes, I am.
He is a teacher.
Shout out to St. Andrews Middle School in Toronto. Hooray.
All the best people are teachers. They give back, right?
Yeah, we do. We do our very best.
So you are also a photographer, but you weren't forever. I've known you long enough to know that you've had many lives.
Yes.
You've been a competition race maker.
Yes.
Was that the proper
So
terminology?
sure, it works. I've done Ironman, I've done mountain bike racing, I've done Spartan racing, I've done marathons, I've done not a lot of TV, so I don't know where my X is on the floor.
Put an X, I'm sorry.
So I've done a whole lot of things, but I've always had a camera in my hand somewhere. Going all the way back to high school, I was the one who took a lot of the pictures. So that's,
It's always been a
it's
passion.
always been there.
That's cool.
But never like this. This journey is new and it's absolutely phenomenal.
Well, you all know how last week we explored how music it fuels creativity in photography, and how rhythm and emotion and timing all shape the way we shoot. Tonight, we're talking about literal stuff. This guy, you're actually doing it now. You're out there shooting concerts for Loud TO.
I am.
Who's Loud TO?
It says Mike's audio is cracking.
My audio is cracking. It's probably my voice. I was on.
Probably peaking.
I was peaking.
So let me turn you down.
All right.
Here, you hold that.
I can hold that.
And let me see if I know what I'm doing over here. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. That's mine.
That's yours.
That's yours. There we go.
Check 1, 2.
I'll turn them both down a little bit.
All right.
So, yeah, should be good. Awesome.
Okay.
And thanks for letting us know. This is the point of having conversations on our show, right?
We're live and in studio. Let us know what's going on.
That's great. And you've got that real nice, rough baritone voice.
Well, I was on a field trip all day with 75 kids, so the voice is a little rough. Oh, yeah.
I
But
guess you
it
didn't
was
have a
fun.
microphone to talk to them either.
And no microphone.
All right.
It's all. This is the only mic that I use.
Well, you know how
Yes.
to shoot concert photography probably better than anybody I know.
No, thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
your photos have become fantastic. I mean,
I really appreciate that. It's been growing. And you asked about Loud TO. So
yeah, please.
yeah, no, loudto.com. It's an online music magazine. It is one of the best out there. We cover mostly heavy metal, rock and roll, but we cover a lot of different genres. We're out there. We're live, and we do as much as we can throughout the GTA. So please check us out online. That would be absolutely awesome. Album reviews, concert reviews. I do in the summer. I do a what if section that you can still find. What if bands take different routes in their progress to get to where they are. So it's a lot of great information, a lot about the music scene. Check us out online, loudto.com.
Awesome. But not only that,
Oh, yes.
the photos are great, but you're a writer. Like you,
Yes.
this is kind of a background thing that you've always been, right?
Yes.
You're good with words, and the stories aren't just a band showed up, it was this song and this song. You have your history involved, you have your storytelling involved, and you're putting a different twist to it. You're really reading the room, let's just say. You understand the
try.
assignment, right?
I try. I've been a music fan all my life. Unfortunately, zero musical talent. I can play a really mean radio. That's about the extent of my musical talent. But I love writing, and I'm lucky enough with Laucio that a lot of the bands that I'm seeing I'm a fan of. So when I go to shoot these concerts, I'm bringing the fan perspective. I love being there. I'm with the music, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. Knowing the music and where it's going to go and how it's going to move dictates how my shoots happen. Mm-hmm. Because I love it, and I know what the sound is, and I know what the performers are going to do, and that's something that really resonates with me. And I'm back in the 80s, and it's incredible to be on the other side of the barrier and being part of the show. It's
I
really
want to
cool.
hear how your wrestling photography influenced your concert. I want to hear how your concert has now influenced your wrestling. But before that,
Yes.
tell me about the first time you got a real camera.
Ooh. The very first time I got my real camera was during COVID. I was walking everywhere, as most people were doing. I wasn't working. Well, I was working, but I was working from home. And I just got tired of walking and just seeing things and not looking at things. So I decided to come into Henry's. It's my local store, which I absolutely love and very lucky to have here. And met Brian.
$20.
Yeah, here we go. Thank you very much. That goes in the pocket. I had no affiliation to any camera brand. I knew nothing. Brian was able to show me a few different cameras. I picked up the Nikon Z50, and it felt really good in my hand. And it was in my budget. It came with 2 kit lenses, which were awesome, and I bought it. And it wasn't because Nikon's better than this or that. It literally, when I picked it up and held the grip, I went, this is perfect, this is what fits. And that's what sold me on the camera. So my first camera was the Nikon Z50. I thought it was the greatest thing ever, and started taking pictures, mostly nature. There was a lot of nature during COVID because everybody else was not out. From there, I got into wrestling and found out that, funny enough, Brian was a wrestling photographer, which total coincidence. Again, I took a few pictures, thought, look at me, I'm a good photographer. A local promotion was coming here, GCW. I called them up and said, hey, I'm a photographer. And it worked. He said, come on down, take pictures.
That's
It's
how
wonderful.
I got into it too.
Is that
Exactly the same way.
That's it.
I did it with AWF and Whitby, and you did it with GCW.
Yeah.
This is what you have to do.
I made a phone call.
Yep.
And he was great. Dave Wildstar was wonderful, allowed me to come down. I met the wrestlers, started shooting. And I thought it was incredible. I've learned 2 very important things since I became a photographer. You're not as good as you think you are, but you're also a lot better than you think you are. And camera gear means nothing, but camera gear means everything. And it's these 2 dichotomies that I found that have really brought my photos to the forefront, because I was taking wrestling photography and I thought it was incredible because I was stopping movement for a moment.
Yeah.
And seeing things that, again, I grew up with, and going, oh my gosh, there's a slam, there's a leg drop, and I froze that moment. Looking back at those photos, yeah, they weren't very good because I didn't know anything about color. I didn't know anything about framing and telling a story that you helped me a lot with. So that's where my wrestling photography started, and it brought me to concert photography. Do you want to go into that?
Yeah, well, just before
Yeah,
we do
sorry.
that, did you think then, like 5 years from then, you'd be shooting backstage, you'd be
No.
hanging out with the wrestlers, they'd know who you are, and you'd be working with Loud TO and doing all these things?
None. I had a dream, I had a vision. I just wanted to do something different. I'm always looking for the next thing. Wrestling photography was incredible, and I got to know the wrestlers. And all of a sudden, I'm watching what happens before the show starts. And as a child growing up with wrestling and being behind the scenes, meeting the wrestlers, seeing things happen, it was incredible. But I never knew how far it was going to go. I just knew that I was going to go to the next show, and I was going to go to the next show.
Yeah, we were talking about it quite often. Like, you had this opportunity come up, yeah, maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. The time
Yep.
worked out, you went, you got the bug a little bit more each time.
And I kept growing, and I loved it. And I
Yeah.
toured. I was up and down, called it, the 401 corridor. I was up and down from Belleville down to Orangeville, shooting wrestling, and it was, and then a few downtown, and with Brian a couple times at a couple different shows, and it's been an incredible journey.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's a journey. You've got to pick up a little bit here, a little bit there. And
Yeah.
I just want to stress that point, because anybody who wants to get to concerts or any kind of event in general, there's a curve. There's a learning curve.
100%.
You got to learn how the people react. You got to learn the sport, so
Yep.
to speak, right? And know where to be.
Know what
So-
you're doing, and that's with wrestling 100%.
Yeah.
I watched another photographer show up, wasn't quite sure, and got a boot to the face. Just wrong place, wrong time, and wasn't watching what was happening.
Can't anticipate what's next, where they're coming from.
Yeah, wrestler took the slide and right to the face. So
Do you think your wrestling photography helped you with the concert photography?
100%.
Give me an example of where that
100%.
crossover is.
Not so much about what's happening on stage, because unless it's a really rough show, you're pretty safe, but you're sharing the space with other photographers. As a wrestling photographer, especially being one around the ring, understanding where you are and what's around you. It's and I don't know if it's teacher, eyes at the back of your head type of thing. I have to be aware of where a referee is. I have to be aware where a videographer is. I have to be aware where the wrestlers are in the ring.
You have to be aware of where the referee is and where he's going to slide
Yes.
to as he slides to make a count, and his feet don't hit you in
And
the face.
it's watching all of this. So all of a sudden now I'm in a pit, And the band is on stage, which is great, but I'm sharing the pit with 7 or 8, maybe 10 other photographers who all want the same shot that I do. So again, watching where they are, watching the stage, one of my best moments was shooting Sebastian Bach, and I was watching how they were doing the lighting and practice. Sorry, I talk with my hands a lot.
It's okay, I do too.
I was watching the lighting, and I noticed that they kept shooting one light on in one particular spot, and I went, that's where Sebastian Bach's going to come out, for sure. And the lights went down, all the photographers went to one side of the stage. I was the only one on the left side of the stage, and I got that shot of him coming out from underneath the lights. I was aware, it's the same with wrestling, I was aware of what was going on, whether it's on the mat or on the stage. Seeing that happen, I got the shot, and then everybody went, whoa, and they all ran over to me, and then I got upset because now I'm crowded again.
Yeah, of course, yeah. If you could
Yes,
bring
exactly.
one element of production from the concert world into the wrestling world, what would you pick for that?
Oh my goodness. Probably just dealing with the lighting. Getting things to stand out, and it's really hard in the wrestling world. Some of the promotions that I shoot for don't have a lot of big production, and so I'm shooting within gymnasiums or Legion halls, and they're awesome, but they don't have that pizzazz that a concert will have. And that's what I would love to be able to capture and create within the wrestling photography.
When we both shoot for WWE or
Yeah.
AEW, we'll have that kind
We'll
of
have that. It'll be there.
Yeah, it'll be
If
there.
you're out there, we come as a team.
Now, if we come to the WWE, we're going to have our list of demands.
Oh, 100%.
Right. So tell me about where this M&M's story comes from, because we were just talking before we went live, and I know it's 5:27, but
Yeah, sorry.
it's okay.
And I do talk
had a lot
lot
of stuff to talk about before you got on.
So we were joking about having a rider, because I'm here and look at me live on TV.
I should have your bowl of M&M's.
And the bowl of M&Ms, and the famous bowl of M&Ms from Van Halen, who distinctly said, now the color maybe have changed over the years, but my understanding was it was no brown M&Ms. And the reason for that was if they walked into the dressing room and they had a bowl of M&Ms and they saw brown M&Ms, somebody didn't do their job, which means somebody looked at the rider, and who knows what else is not going to be right, whether it's the stage setup, the lighting, something else is going to go wrong. If one thing's going wrong, chances are three more.
It's never about the M&Ms. It's about paying attention
It's
to
about
details.
paying attention to details. And that's one thing that we have to do as photographers. I get a rider. I get or not so much a rider, but I get a contract. And, one of them, for example, again, going back to Sebastian Bach, we are not allowed to shoot from front of stage. All shots, photographers have to be either stage left or stage right, for whatever reasons he had. And it's very important that we read all of these beforehand, because if you walk into a show and you don't do it properly, there's a good chance you're not invited back. It's a very small world in concert photography. I learned that as well, meeting the same people, incredible people, but meeting the same people over and over again. It's a small world. You have to be respectful.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And same with wrestling,
Oh, sure.
You're in the world, you're seeing the same people, the same
I am a little
promoters.
guy here in Newmarket, and I am, literally a phone call away from the people that you see on TV.
Yep.
Everybody knows everybody. So, yeah.
100%.
Let's geek out.
All right.
Let's talk about gear.
Oh.
Let's talk. So what do you use when you shoot?
Okay, so...
Because we talked about the first camera you have, but that didn't last more than 6 months to a year or so.
Yes, but it did incredible things. The Z50, and I'm assuming the Z50 Mark II, phenomenal camera. But I needed more. I am not a gearhead in the fact that I love my gear. I don't know a lot about it. I am now shooting with the Nikon Z8. And if you ask me the technical details about it, I'm not going to be able to tell you too much, other than it has a high aperture, 2.8.
That's your lens.
That's my lens. No, but my aperture on the
Because the lens is on it.
because the lens is on it. So, again, I shoot. Brian will tell me what I'm doing with this stuff. So the camera is phenomenal.
Well, I mean, you're right. You need the bright aperture. That's why you
Yes.
spent the money on the glass.
On the
right?
glass.
But the fact that it goes to high ISO and it looks really, really clean doing this.
That's what I was
That's
looking
what you're
for.
trying to say.
So when you're shooting wrestling, when you're shooting concerts, I do know what I'm talking about.
Yes, you do.
When I shoot concerts, when I shoot wrestling, often the lighting is, well, it's sometimes unforgiving, sometimes unpredictable. So having the opportunity to get that really high ISO and know that I can still clean it up using whatever software I choose to use is really, really important. I've shot outdoor concerts where it's like pitch black and a little pin light somewhere down the stage. So lifting up that high ISO, because both wrestling and concerts require a high shutter speed.
Remember, you're talking to that.
Oh,
You're just
hi.
waving it around.
I just waved it around.
It's okay.
So shooting with a high shutter speed to be able to capture the moment
In sharpness, yeah.
in sharpness means I need a high ISO. And the lens I use, which is my baby, this is my go-to lens for concerts, is the new 2470 Nikon S. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to turn your back.
No. So that's my gear. It's got two cards, the little card and what's the big card called?
The CF Express.
CF Express. So I can take like 10 billion pictures on this thing.
Literally.
Not have to worry about. I use one for backup. It's a phenomenal piece of equipment. And again, it's a Nikon. And it felt so good in my hands. I'm a Nikon guy, not because it's better or worse than anything else. For me, it works.
And this is kind of leads me to the next point in that, yeah, sure, gear matters, but for everybody who's watching right now, if you want to dive into your own concert or wrestling photography, and I know Teresa's plow beast, by the way. So
Oh, cool.
That's good. She says your photos are amazing, by the way.
Thank you very much.
You're really good, I should say, really good.
I'm really good. Thank you.
That when you start getting into gear and you start to understand the differences, it's not a matter of getting the best gear. It's getting what's appropriate for what you're doing.
100%.
You need really good dynamic range. You need really fast focusing. You wanted the pixels because you didn't know if you'd be super close or super far or whatever. So you got the right camera for the job. Just like me, the Z6 III is usually ideal. But for portrait, I still like using the more pixels for detail, right? It's more about the tool for the job than it is about buying the most expensive thing.
100%. And staying within your range is important as well, because there's no point in blasting all your money away and not using it and not using it properly. I found out very quickly that nobody cares what camera you have. The person beside you, the person in front of you doesn't care what camera you have. You're walking with the best or the worst. What they're going to look at is what comes out of that camera. And if you're able to show that you can do what you do. I was doing things with the Z50 apparently that you weren't supposed to do. But I was able to capture images because the passion was there, the ability, the knowledge, learning the ropes, so to speak, for wrestling allowed me to do that properly. So my pictures came out with passion. With the reason I went up to the Z8, it gave me more range.
Yeah.
And that's it. It just allowed me to do more. Not better, more.
And that's the key. And you want to be able to, do everything you could possibly do when you're out there on the job, right? You don't want to be
100%.
stuck. Now, speaking of out there on the job,
If I stand here, am I blocking that, or can they see it?
you're blocking that, but they can see it because
Okay.
I'm sharing it separately.
That's what I was gonna say.
But Brian can see it. Brian, you can see that okay?
Yep.
All right. We're going to do some photo time here. We're going to talk about Mike's photos. I said Brian. Too many Brians. All right. Here we are. So we're going to quickly go over some of your shots.
Perfect.
And this is the first one we're going to talk about.
It is, and I chose this for two reasons. This is not Ace Frehley, but as many of you know, if you are a fan of music and rock and roll and Kiss specifically, Ace Frehley recently passed. He was a legend in rock and roll guitar. Not the best. Again, not the best, but
One of the first.
One of the first showmen. He was a true rock star in everything that he did. This picture is from a band called Destroyer, Canadian band, phenomenal band, and it was the very first concert photo I ever took with the Z50, with my 50mm, the Nifty 50, and I wasn't hired to do it. I went with my partner, and she surprised me on my birthday. We went down to the Kingsway Festival, and they were playing. And I talked to them beforehand. I'm going to take pictures. They said, wonderful. I was right up on the stage and captured Kiss. And for me, I was in heaven. It was incredible. The other special thing about this picture is this is a picture that I you can see it, so I'm not blocking it. This is a picture that I used to help me get into Loud TO. So, which brings us to the next picture, the King Diamond. Yeah. So this is King Diamond, another one of my heroes from the 80s, and he was coming to a casino in Toronto, and I wanted to shoot. So again, I just picked up a phone and found his promoter, said, hi, I'm a photographer, I'd love to shoot the show. They came back to me with, I'm sorry, we don't do freelance, which means you're not affiliated with any organization. Because of that,
Well, we want to see Mike too.
I just figure I show.
I'm here.
It's all good.
This is why they don't let me on live TV very often. So because of that, I went online, started doing my research, and I found Loud TO, and I loved what they were doing. Jay Broderick, the editor-in-chief, put together a phenomenal package online, and I reached out to them and said, look, I'm a photographer. I sent them the Ace Frehley picture. I also do some writing. I'd like to shoot King Diamond. Can we make that work? He looked at my work, looked at my writing, and said, 100%, well, not quite, but yes, you may. Let's see what you can do. And I went back to King Diamond, said, I'm working with Loud TO. They said, fantastic. I got my press pass and shot King Diamond, which again, for me, was mind-blowing. These are people that I grew up with, that I went to see in concert in the 80s, and now I'm part of the show.
You're living
I'm
that
living the
little
dream.
yeah.
I'm on the other side of that gate.
But you showed the initiative to make it happen, right?
And you have to.
Yeah.
This business is about putting it out there.
I'm just going to cycle through
Yeah,
the shots.
go.
You can give a brief, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so that one's not up on here.
Oh.
No, that's okay. This one I chose, this is Avril Lavigne. She, I guess I would say maybe is one of the biggest artists that I've shot, but I wanted to bring this out because I wanted to very quickly talk about being prepared. I told you that my 24-70 is my go-to 100% lens. This was at the Burl Oaks Conservation Area. All my friends' festival. It was outdoor. We shot all day, front of stage. It was incredible. And then Avril Lavigne said, yeah, I don't want anybody shooting in front of the stage. You have to shoot from the soundboard, which was like 500 miles away. I was prepared. I brought my other lens. I was able to capture a picture like this. You can see the tattoos. You can see the details on her jacket. And that was from miles away because I carried two lenses. You never know what's going to happen. Be prepared. Understanding how music works. Being able to, oh, that's Aussie.
Yeah.
Well, not Aussie.
There we go.
Again, being able to follow the music and know what's being played. This is Lee Aaron. This was at Casino Rama. Incredible show.
Sorry. Every time I hear Lee Aaron, I just picture my wife kicking her out of a bar.
Oh.
She did.
Another story for another time.
Yeah, that's another day.
But here, here it is. I knew you can feel the crescendo. You can feel the music coming up, and I knew something special was going to happen. And the camera was ready. I turned and I got the shot, and I love it. And I always say you don't want to see backs, and you don't want to you want to see faces. But I think that captured a moment. Again, Ozzy just passed. My hero above heroes, and I hope I don't tear up. I never got a chance to shoot him. I actually sent an email to Sharon Osbourne to try and get a pass for a Birmingham show. Never heard back. Don't even know if it was her real email address. The next best thing, Crazy Babies, shot at the Phoenix. And this is, again, learning about how to present that photo.
I got a hair trigger.
Black and white. And again, getting that detail, seeing the Aussie, getting that facial expression. It's a moment that you can capture. One of the things I learned very early as a concert photographer, always get the mic side, or always don't shoot the mic in the face. So always go on the opposite side where they are, right-handed or left-handed. Learn that quickly.
Yeah, really good tip.
It's all about the hair. all about the hair, all about the motion. Oh, that one too works,
Yeah.
but that's not the same as that one.
No, they're not lining up, but that's okay. We'll
Okay.
get there. There we are.
Taken a few weeks ago at the rock pile, Gypsy. Oh my goodness, I'm really sorry, but the name's blanked out. Gypsy Bridge. Finding that moment, that like this is true rock star moment, and being able to see the motion with the hair, it's music, and that's what you want to capture. Is that electricity in the air?
Well, I mean, Ann Ashby is watching. Hello, Ann. She
Hello,
says
Ann.
Michael's passion truly shines through his photography. Great
Thank
work.
you.
So you're nailing it.
I appreciate that. I really do.
You say you're talking about the passion. You're talking about feeling it. How do you like? We've talked about this before. We're from the era of the '80s hair band.
Yep.
You know,
Not anymore.
hair adds so much to a photo in wrestling.
It
in
does.
This. Talk about that for just a quick second.
There's
Because we both are lacking in the hair department, but at least somewhat.
Yeah, forgot my hat. When you're able to see movement, and again, there's two different views on this. I want the sharpness. I want to be able to see the detail. I want to see the sweat coming off the hair. Same with wrestling. When that hair whips, you get a wrestler with that awesome hair whip. It's an incredible movement. There are others who prefer a blur. They slow the shutter speed down a little bit. Both work. I like that definition because again, for me, it's capturing that moment in time. You can see the music. You know what's happening in this picture. And with wrestling again, or sorry, with rock and roll, the stage lighting. So positioning yourself, knowing where to go, so when the moment happens, you're going to get that light coming in to highlight that hair, to capture that moment, and hopefully get some sweat, maybe a little spit. It's pretty awesome.
Dude, you're pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Wouldn't be here without him, honestly, because it's and the rest of Henry's as well. It's what got me to where I am with gear, with advice, with everything else. So, so greatly appreciate it.
I'm glad it's working for you. That's what we do it for.
Excellent.
Before you go,
Yeah.
how can people find you on social media?
So on Instagram at Michael Drukarsh, MichaelDrukarsh. Check out Loud Chio. You can search for all of all the other articles and reviews. And I do have Michael Drukarsh photography. Usually I update it, but you can see some of my pictures as well.
Awesome, man.
There you go.
Thank you.
Anything Michael Drukarsh. I'm the one and only.
They're going to put a test to that. They're gonna...
I am. No, there you test it.
Okay, cool.
I am the one and only in the whole wide world.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff.
went way over.
That's okay. We go over. That's what happened. Great show. Thanks, Ann. All right. Final notes. Just going to do quick final notes. Don't forget, there's big Henry's deals going on right now. I'm just going to do a quick share of some things here for you. You can see stocking stuffers, gift ideas under $100, gift ideas under $200 are now on the Henry's website. So check those things out. And also the pre-orders are there as well. You can see all the things that are available for pre-order, including the Tamron 70 to 180 f2.8 lens and the FE Sony 100 2.8 and so on and so forth. Lots of really cool things on the Henry's website. So please check that out. And quick teaser, you all may need to be subscribing to a new YouTube channel soon. Just thought I'd mention that. Ooh, I just don't want to say anything more, but more information on next week's show. So make sure you check out next week's show on that. And of course, huge thank you to my friend Michael Drukarsh. Thanks for coming down to the Nook, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. I'm going to leave you all with this one thought. Photography and music are both languages of timing. They both demand rhythm, emotion, and patience. So, whether you're listening for the beat or watching for the light, remember creativity is all about learning to see and hear the light. I'm pointing at Brian because it's all about the light. That's what it's all about. And remember, whether you're ringside, roadside, or right here in your own backyard, shoot for yourself, the rest will follow. Take care, everybody. Have a good week.
Ooh, I like that sign off.
That's new.
I know.
Yeah.
Fancy schmancy. I like it. Did I talk too much?
It's fine. No, it was so
Perfect.
interesting.
Okay.
It's fine.
I